It's And Just Like That, Season 3, Episode 11, Forget About the Boy. After a meeting with her editor, Carrie contemplates the ending of her book and her own story. Meanwhile, Charlotte navigates complicated feelings around Rock's high school musical debut, and Seema gets a surprising invitation. C'est magnifique. Baby. Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, though, I love it how Amanda's on mute. Guys, mind you, it's the penultimate episode. It's the one right before the finale, and I finally gotten the little
sequence
thing about, yes, the sequence. Thank you.
It's a whole thing. But you nailed it today. You know why? Because we're both just like, whatever, because that's kind of what we've been given here. Michael Patrick King said, fuck you to the audience, and we're taking it as such.
I'm agitated because, okay, guys, if you're listening over here on all the podcast places, hey, guys, it's Pod in the City with Amanda and Joan, or Aminata. Aminata is a misspelling that one of the Sister Wives kids wrote on a card for Amanda. That's why it's spelled Aminata. Her name is actually Amanda. My name is John, but she used to call me Joan, and you get the backstory. We've known each other forever, this, that, and the other. If you're just joining us on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit like, hit all that, baby. And make sure, if you are watching or if you like watching stuff on YouTube, check out our live streams. Every Friday, we're doing a live stream. Now, mind you, we're only going to have, I guess, one more that is about And Just Like That Season 3, but we're also on the cusp of something new. We're going to continue doing our Friday live streams, 2 p.m. EST. Google it if you don't know what EST is, because I don't really know where it is either.
Yeah,
so
figured out.
What is EST for me? And we're going to either continue doing season 4 of Sex and the City, recapping and doing a live reaction every Friday too, or another idea is to go back and put ourselves through. I mean, I think the first season of And Just Like That is what? 10 episodes?
Yeah, like at the most.
I think it might be 8 even, right? Maybe. I don't know, but when we first recapped that, it was kind of a mess. So we're thinking of it might be nice to go back and think, oh,
knowing what we know now.
Yeah,
now
like
wiser and much older.
Is this what I wish they would have followed what season 1 was? Or, we've obviously followed the shift that they've made in season 3. And we're ultimately following this story of whether the show was canceled, whether it was, their choice, because MPK says it was a beautiful place to end. Now, watching this episode, I was incredibly disappointed, especially when you tell me that you're leading up to this beautiful place to end, because, spoiler alert, like nothing happened. And in fact, you've led our story to almost to a point where it's like, you could end right here and it wouldn't really matter. Like I said in our live that we do, I said there's no stakes, and there really aren't, because it's like the only one is Brady's baby, and he doesn't even want to have an attachment to the baby. The mom doesn't want him to have anything to do with it.
Yeah, we think that they're just going to write it off so that it's either not her baby or she got one of those late-term abortions that everyone's getting.
I just don't quite understand why they didn't just take the show there. It has come out though, like now they were leading it somewhere. They were starting these new storylines, but I'll keep to my feelings of you didn't need three seasons after 6 original seasons. We didn't need
this story. The only story I think maybe the audience, I think I'm glad we got, is the man that got away. Oh, wait, turns out he also sucks, and that wouldn't have worked out either. So I'm glad we actually got that. But any of the other storylines, like, we didn't need any of them from Sex and the City. The only thing they wrapped up is Aiden.
I didn't hate Charlotte's storyline.
But did we need it? Did she wind up in a different place than she is when she started the season?
The problem is that we didn't need Carrie's storyline, and they've made Carrie even more insufferable to a point that like we really don't care. I'm like, okay. I mean, I was upset when they had the terrible apartment. I was not loving that this episode. But
also, if you think about a lot of speculation happened when Chris Noth was written off, because all of his Me Too shit came out right as the season was airing, even though there were rumblings of it for years in the city. But that was supposed to be the plot line of Sex and the City 3, the movie, as I recall. Because remember, Stanford was out there complaining about it, validly. But that was supposed to be that plot of that movie. So also, they just kind of stuck with the movie plot from the third movie, and they just moved that into, and just like that. Instead of just scrapping that idea. And it's like How I Met Your Mother, second reference today. They thought of an ending for right at the beginning, and then they didn't want to go and maybe rewrite what you had originally planned.
They're not going to, I don't know, they stripped away everything that like made Sex and the City fun and enjoyable, and then they give us like tiny little glimpses of it, like Bitsy for a second. And I'm not saying Bitsy made Sex and the City, but her energy is Sex and the City energy, and that's what this is missing. It's so dour, like it's so I do want to say I did have a beautiful, amazing idea for an ending. Now, this is not amazing, but like for what this is.
I had a good one too.
Okay, what's yours again?
Mine was that they did the Silence of the Lambs thingy.
Oh, yeah. Well, so yes, that was where, okay, so at the end that possibly she would be going to meet Duncan, but she's
going to meet Duncan, and they're switching back and forth between Carrie racing to meet someone who she didn't realize was so important to her. She can't live without this person. Then you're seeing Duncan smoke his pipe around his apartment and shit. And then Carrie gets to the door, she knocks on the door and opens, and it's not Duncan, it's Samantha. And that's how they end it. But then everyone was saying it's not Kim Cattrall though, because she's not doing it.
Just from the back.
But your idea was
more of a I don't like this idea, but like it could completely retcon this entire series, and we could be like, oh, okay, it was all fake. If they zoom out the last second and Carrie is reading at a book reading.
Yeah, book reading. Yeah.
Her reading of her new book, and it's her novel.
She's reading a novel at the Moth.
Yes, she's reading or the Strand. She's
or
like
a Risk.
She's reading her not, because this whole show now is they're saying is that she's writing her novel, The Woman. Maybe, and just like that is really Carrie Bradshaw's novel. And this is like Carrie Bradshaw, what she would be like in the modern world after, Sex and the City, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Which then you could retcon everything and make it kind of.
Yeah. I don't think you said it zooms out, she's reading it. And then we realize, oh, that was just the book. And then she walks off stage and Big comes up, gives her a kiss and says, proud of you, kid. And then we realize, oh, all of that was just a horrible, horrible nightmare. We see Steve and Miranda still together. Charlotte and Harry are the exact same anyway, either way.
Yeah. The thing that also has been coming out, I want to say this before we get actually into the full episode, is that there have been rumors. The rumor mill is churning, baby. And I think one of my favorite bits is like when someone is cut off by the sound effect. If it's me, fine. If it's me cutting you off, it's funny every time. And okay, so some of the like new or the gossip around town is that SJP is upset. There is a blind item that says the 3 named actress is throwing her co-stars under the bus again. She wants a solo spin-off show, just her, no one else from the OG show or the rebooted show.
Wow. I mean, I can see her doing that. And also Kim Cattrall and Cynthia Nixon were clearly very devastated by this news based on what they're posting. Who's not affected? George Washington, who you couldn't even tell by looking at his Instagram page that he's on.
I think he would like people to forget he was ever on this.
Smart.
He's like, give me my money and goodbye. Yeah. But I could see this happening, but this would be a continued stroking of your own ego, because SJP, if you think that you have built any kind of goodwill during this series for people to want to follow your character anywhere, yeah, you kind of messed up here, because you've made your character insufferable to the point where I'm like, Why would I want to just follow her and a whole new set of brand new people? We already did that when they threw her into her podcast, and we saw how that went, y'all. So what's she going to sit in at? She's going to go to whatever new city and sit around and be like, oh my
God. Was it established in this episode, by the end of this episode, is no one going to Miranda's?
They are going because
but Carrie and Charlotte decided that they're not going, right?
Charlotte's going. No, they are.
I thought when they're laying in their full-size mattress together, and I know that that's for filming and framing. I've been seeing the conversation. You need to give these two a king-size mattress and figure out the framing. Figure it out, because they look ridiculous. But doesn't their story gets wrapped up with him being like, "Oh, that's my iPad. I was showing my dick porn, and I don't want to go to Thanksgiving." And doesn't Charlotte say, "Yeah, you should have Thanksgiving where you want this year, Harry"?
She does, but then I think there is a last part where she's like, oh wait, no, you're right. She does say you get to do whatever you want. But guys, that pissed me off.
It should end with everyone together on Thanksgiving, right? I mean, logistically. And Seema's not going either. Seema's going to Adams.
It should have ended a long time ago. I don't know what I think it should be. I genuinely am like, I'm at a point of this where like I was hoping this episode was going to launch us into, like, this is technically a 2-part finale.
Yeah, this was part 1.
There was you didn't start anything. They didn't start like that.
Was the epilogue supposed to be a cliffhanger, like a Breaking Bad-esque cliffhanger?
I think it was. I think it's supposed to make us be like, oh, so who is she going to, what man is she going to send to her life around now?
Now, here, I'll throw this argument out there. It's not even really an argument, but it's a point. That the Golden Girls ends with Dorothy marrying Leslie Nielsen, and he was only introduced the episode before. Now, Victor Garber could be a Leslie Nielsen, I guess, but not as he's established on this show. I'm just saying it worked on the Golden Girls. Like I didn't hate it.
I think to me though, those are different.
Because Golden Girls is a good show.
Well, I also just think like the connection that you would have with the Golden Girls is different than people have built. Like us, we watched this show in our formative years, like, and we were like, we grew up with these people alongside them. I mean, we're young, we're not as old as them, but like we watched them grow up and then followed in our life growing up too, and they were like that. I don't know that people watch Golden Girls and were like, oh yeah, these are my. I see myself in these women. I feel like in Sex and the City, you could see yourself in this show. And it was like, and that's part of why this, and just like that sucks, is they've removed the part of feeling like you could feel yourself in this.
Yeah, it's so unrelatable.
Every single opportunity they have to make it more relatable, they just say, fuck it. I mean, like, they have Anthony and Guissepe buying Guissepe sweaters at Bergdorf Goodman, like Lanvin sweaters that I think are probably $3,000, these sweaters that they're buying. Why are you not at H&M? He's 29 years old, and Anthony, you live in a shitty rent.
And where are you guys going? You work at like, what's it called? Like Dixon Bread. What is that thing called? Hot Fellas.
Like,
you're not going anywhere where you need to wear that.
I feel like there's opportunities, and I think I really do. I had this feeling, like, you know, because it's been ending, I've been having a lot of feelings going on because this has been a whole thing. I mean, Amanda and I went to the midnight showing of the first movie because we were that effing obsessed. Like, we were obsessed. That is, again, one of the big things that connected us together is like our love of Sex and the City.
Oh yeah.
And
one of my favorite memories is that you and Anthony came over and we did like that epic Sex and the City night at my apartment. I think we like sent Brad out, and we had a whole bunch of episodes, and we did watch a bunch, but we recorded this video, which I wish I could find. I'm so skinny in it. And I thought I was fat, was my point. But we did this video and we're like, hey guys, we're going to be watching all these episodes of Sex and the City, and we'll check in throughout the night. And then we never did a second video.
Also, how many episodes did we actually watch?
We watched like probably 6 or 7. We watched a good chunk. I know.
Sure,
I
though, we were
remember
gonna
it
try
going
and
on.
really like do it to it, like a whole 24-hour thing. I still would let like just binge every episode and then like do a movie binge and everything. What's gonna come up next? And we wanted to let you, we're gonna do some crowd sourcing here. Please, in the comments, or you can email us at patcpod@gmail.com, or you can send us a voicemail in our through our thing. You can put it somewhere. Find us on Instagram. Find us everywhere. Somewhere. Find me. Find my doll TikTok. Send me a message there. Anywhere. Let us know. Should we do And Just Like That season 1, or should we do Sex and the City season 4 right after this? Let us know.
It's split right down the middle.
It is. It really is very split. I'm kind of leaning towards And Just Like That, just because I feel like we can ride the wave of people being
snarky
like,
headspace.
This sucks, and we can go back to being like, oh wait, shit. Actually, season 1 was kind of better than I think now we're looking at, we look at season 3 being like, oh my god, wait, they're actually figuring it out, but did they? I feel like this season just meandered to nothing.
And I said on our video that we posted this week from our roundup this Wednesday that I over the weekend I watched Sex and the City 2, and it was honestly like a like you fall in love with your captor. What's that called?
Oh,
Stockholm syndrome. Where I'm like, well, no, this movie's good. This is like, I cried during the karaoke part. I was like, this is so empowering. But when we saw it in the theater, I remember being like, this is so fucking cheesy.
Well, where Sex and the City was when that came out, that felt like it was jumping the shark. At that, that felt like it jumping the shark, but really, we didn't know what was to come.
That's a good point too.
That was really the jumping the shark moment. Maybe Sex and the City 2 was jumping the shark, but this was jumping the World Trade Center. I don't know,
that happened during the series.
Jumped over the Grand Canyon. I mean,
we are when we're watching Sex and the City, I like to have in my head that we're the age of Samantha in that series, in Sex and the City. We are about Samantha's age.
You guys,
Carrie and Miranda and Charlotte are younger than us. We're the oldest one in the group.
I do miss Che. I think one of the big problems of the first season, though, was that they tried to make the side characters equal characters to the 3 leads, and they should have just let those people be all side characters in a way.
Do you think what if there was no Che and Joy was just the one that Miranda leaves Steve for? That would have been a much more gentle and probably realistic to a lot of late in life lesbians, maybe a lot of late in life lesbians just have a fucking blowout midlife crisis style and they meet a Che.
I actually wouldn't have minded it as much if Miranda hadn't acted so annoying when she was with Che. Which is, for sure. And I also wish I don't know why they needed to make Che's character that they just go around the country finger banging and fucking every person that is humanly alive.
Man, woman, non-binary,
everything. It's maybe we didn't need that. I would have loved a non-binary stand-up comedian being Miranda's first
podcaster.
That's what she's
forgot to say for. Podcaster.
Well, fine too. All of that. That's she's horny for this image of what she thinks this is. And then Joy shows her more of a down-to-earth image of it. But even in the moment in this episode when, Brady's yelling and he's like, hey, Joy, whatever. They don't even get Joy involved. She just
she picks up her dogs and leaves the room.
One thing I do want to say now that we're at almost 20 minutes is, guys, can you go check out our Patreon? It's patreon.com/podandthecity. Over there, we do extra episodes every week, an entire extra episode.
Oh, yeah, we got good stuff.
Uncut, ad-free access to all of our other stuff. This week, we released a Girls episode.
No, it's coming up this Monday, but then guess what, guys? That season of Girls is over. We're taking a break from Girls, and then next month in that slot is going to be, I forgot what it's called, RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 2, Episode 1.
I can't wait.
Fun! All right.
Now, so guys, check that out. We should have plugged it earlier. Now, it's time. Let's get into the episode. Let's go.
Yeah.
I will say this effing pie scene. pissed me off. We did talk about it in the live, but there's the logistics problem here. We have lovely Jackie Hoffman, who allegedly owns a bakery that Carrie is like the number one person who buys from there.
Keeping it in business. Hang on, I want to look up who that woman is and just like, what is this called? Forget About the Boy.
Yes.
This Michael Patrick King talks about on the even the Writers Room podcast isn't fun to talk about anymore because they just checked out. But they must have gotten the cancellation notice maybe within the last 2 episodes that they recorded of Writers Room because he is so checked out. It's actually much more listenable because he's not as like patting himself on the back and like laughing at everything. So I actually like it better. But he did say that like they wrote this scathing, funny thing with Jackie in mind and they gave it to Jackie and she said, yeah, I'll do it. And wow, I mean, no one could have pulled this off like her. Just they were very proud of the speech they wrote here.
What speech?
Like Jackie, when she dresses down the woman, like, oh, you're just a 2 croissant a week type gal where you know, Carrie bought all these pies, whatever, that whole thing.
Okay, let's zip through this. Oh, Jackie Hoffman owns a bakery. Carrie's there ordering 1 million pies for 12 people at a Thanksgiving feast. A lady comes up and is like, why are you letting her order pies? You just told me that there were tons, like you wouldn't let us order them. And then Jackie Hoffman's like, what do you want, Carrie? She keeps saying it in a really weird way. She's saying Carrie is bugging me. And then Carrie's like, I want a lemon meringue and a blueberry. First of all, when are we ordering those for Thanksgiving? Then another lady's there. And then freaking Jackie Hoffman reads her down again, like Amanda said, being like, Carrie bought pies from me during the pandemic, even letting them sit there on the window and blah. She supported me. She buys pies for me all the time. And Carrie's like, some people bring casseroles. I bring pies.
Now, I actually thought Jackie Hoffman was like lying because in my head, as she was doing the speech, I'm like, this doesn't sound like Carrie. I thought that maybe Jackie Hoffman was the woman was going to storm out and Jackie was going to say, thanks for covering for me. I just hate that bitch. I didn't want to make her pies or something.
That would have actually made more sense.
It would have been maybe funnier.
Because not only does that make no sense, but they then cut to her Carrie's on the phone with freaking Miranda. And she's like, hi, I just ordered the pies. And Miranda's like, oh yeah, how many pies did you get? She's like, 7. And Miranda's like, girl, that's 2 pies or 2 people per pie. And Carrie's like, what? I don't know how pies work.
Right.
1 second ago, we're being led to believe that she is the freaking saint of pies. She's doling them out to the unhallowed. It seems
like the first scene and then the street scene were written by 2 different writers that didn't talk to each other first.
Or maybe they couldn't get Jackie Hoffman until like later, and they had already done the scene of her being like, I ordered 7 pies.
No, but you know what? You know what is a crazy thing that I just found out? I'm so glad I just remembered this.
I'm scared.
This is your mouth is gonna drop. Do you remember when they had Susie Essman on, and then we were like, oh, yes, she probably couldn't be there to film, so she was there on set for all of it. She was. I was like, what? Then why? I don't get it.
You're telling me they did like back shots of her like hand?
Yeah, that was her. Yeah, she was like on set. She was signed contracts in order before they even went to filming.
Friends, spend the next 2 weeks formulating why you believe this show failed, because that is going to be our wrap up of the show. Is like, why did this fail? And one is right there. Did you need to hire Susie Essman and pay her to do what she did? Did you need to hire, who was it this episode? Oh, Jackie Hoffman, who again did nothing. This could have been any actor in the world. And what are you paying Jackie Hoffman? I mean, a lot of people are like, who the hell is Jackie Hoffman? But this is a person with a lot of credits to their name. I'm pretty sure they have a Tony Award. Like,
you recognize? Yeah, I think she does. Maybe for Xanadu, but you guys would recognize her. I mean, you've all seen her. She's in everything.
She's been in a bunch of things. Like, so I'm just like, why? Unless you're going to give him something to do. I won't I won't let it go about Kristen Shaw playing that admissions counselor person who doesn't tell a single joke the entire time. What?
That was a weird one. That was a really weird one of what happened there.
Makes no sense. Okay,
sorry. I
sorry.
found this woman, by the way. Her name is Garrett Long. She's on the Gilded Age.
Okay, there was, if you're a gay, there was a porn star that I like
yeah, named Garrett Long.
That was named Barrett Long. So if you're a gay, you'll probably from my
you
time.
You perked up for a second
Barrett
there. You're
Long.
like just stood at attention when I said that. Okay, well, anyway, so there we go, Carrie.
Great.
So she's on the phone with Miranda, and Miranda said, Carrie happens to be in her old neighborhood. They needed a way for. Obviously, they needed a reason for Carrie to be wandering around her neighborhood, but like this pie thing isn't it. They could have made it so much simpler than this.
Or they could have just done that. And then when she's on the street, she says, oh, yeah, I ordered 14 pies. And Miranda's like, oh, my God, that's 2 people per pie. And Carrie's like, yeah, well, I love pie.
It literally could have started with
I love pie. I mean, that would have made the. Oh, my God. What the hell?
Anyway, out walks Lisette from Carrie's old apartment, and she's like, oh my God, Carrie, what are you doing here? And Carrie goes, I want my old apartment back. Ha ha ha, just kidding. I'm here getting pies. And then Lisette invites Carrie to a Monday before Thanksgiving get-together, which the fuck no am I going to that? I'm not, me, a woman in my mid-50s, I'm going to go hang out with you and your Friendsgiving.
That's what I was, well, and also Carrie Bradshaw. Now I have a couple of friends, I have a couple of friends, and this, the way I just said that made it sound like shocking that I would have friends in their 50s.
Yeah. I
have a couple of friends that are like in their 60s, and they vibe completely fine in with like a 40-year-old or younger.
Yeah, but Lisette is 24, isn't she?
Agreed, but my friends are also not like Carrie. And just like that, Carrie Bradshaw might as well be wearing like a collar buttoned up to here and walking around like
a brooch.
Genuinely, she is the woman. I mean, she might as well be living in 1800. So no, of course, the moment she's going to go to this party, and don't get this party. Oh my God, it got my blood.
It really still might be the continuation of the hours because she's going to a party. She's depressed. She'd rather die than be single. That's what the show wants us to know. The writers want us to know that being single is the worst possible ending to your life.
And you know what?
What?
She goes to the bridge where she dumped Big's ashes and said, now we can be together forever. She puts the rocks in her pockets and drowns herself with Big's ashes in the river.
I mean, that's a nice bow on it, at least. It has to do with the rest of what they've given us, at least.
I am so grateful that we know that it's ending, because now we just get to like make up bullshit ideas of what could the ending be. And I know we're going to be let down. I know it. There's no way. The simplest thing is, again, if they have them all ending up in a restaurant together, and somehow, some way, they even superimpose Samantha's image in. That's all I need.
They could be going to Samantha's funeral next episode. They could just do that. Like, everyone's getting ready for Thanksgiving. Everyone has their own lives, and then they get the call, and then everything just stops, and then they go to London.
They could even just have that Samantha, like,
Paris. Is she in Paris?
Is her?
Why do we keep saying London?
She's in London. Isn't she in London?
Well, doesn't Carrie drops the ashes in Paris though?
Yes.
And then she went off and met Samantha right after that. I mean, who cares? You know what? We're going to recap it just like that, season 1.
I don't remember. I want Sam and the City, y'all. That's the show I want.
It's got to be better. So we have Harry and Charlotte here. And Harry can't get erections. He's bitching about it. I really love the wallpaper on their walls here, by the way. It's like big roses.
I hated Harry in this episode. I'm sorry.
He's like bug me that much.
He's bitching about going to Thanksgiving at your friends that you've known for 25 years.
And surely they've spent other Thanksgivings together. And then he brings up the cancer thing as like I just thought, what with the cancer and everything, this might be my last Thanksgiving.
Well, that's their thing. That's told later, but we're led to believe that Harry's ideal Thanksgiving is eating food that Charlotte made him, just the food that Charlotte makes because he doesn't want other people's food. He wants Charlotte to have to literally break her back to make him a full meal. Then he wants to lay on the couch watching football while he passes out. So
I guess her vertigo is fine too, right? By the way, vertigo.
Oh, yeah, we're done with that. In fact, they didn't even say, oh, it was like, again, this show is so dumb and so bad at the way that they are that they can't even just say, oh, she gets a call where like, she could, the simplest way to wrap these things up, Charlotte gets a call and it's like, oh, it's not vertigo, I'm just really stressed. Anything.
Susie Essman could have wrapped up that storyline by diagnosing her with that.
It doesn't make sense. Again, this also leads me to believe that they're lying about it not being canceled because you are. What's weird though is they're not really leading us to any kind of like what is the cliffhanger they would leave it on? It's like, are we all is everyone like, what's Carrie Bradshaw gonna do? Like,
I guess it depends on when, because Michael Patrick King is going along with the story that it was his decision, but in reality, we're pretty sure that it was canceled. So will we ever know when that decision was actually made? But I think they're also letting Michael Patrick King go along with this story that it was his idea, just like Bravo is letting Jax say that he dropped out of the next season of Valley. So I don't think what it really comes down to is when the show is actually canceled, and that's when the writing obviously took a turn. But we'll never know.
Now, I think it was all written and done before it was canceled.
Really?
I feel like these last 2 episodes were split in half too. Because they're short. They're really short.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're at Thanksgiving at Miranda's. We're talking about that. And Rock comes out. Me and John really love this storyline, by the way. I think it's very relatable, very important. From the actual little amount of media that's existed in our lifetime about non-binary kids or trans people that are trans and do a transition. There is always a story about the parents having to mourn the child that they thought they were going to have, or the child they gave birth to.
I would say that this is a common story in the entire LGBTQ community because, like, as a gay in the LGBT community, your parents, when you are born, they have this idea of what it means to be a boy. My family was very sports oriented. Like they liked all of that stuff. And I'm not saying you can't be gay and like sports, but I'm not a sports gay. I'm a theater and like, arts
you're more common,
gay.
I think.
I'm like I like pretty shit. I'm not that. I'm like a brunch gay. All right. And so like, I think that it was really important to show this because I feel like the show has not done enough of that. I understand that we want to act like, the world's ultimately accepting. And nowadays, everyone's so accepting that if a parent found out that their kid did this, the parent would just be like, I love you. It doesn't matter. And now the parent might say that, but it is nice to see a moment, even a glimmer of like what
processing
of like Charlotte being like seeing Rock in a dress and wig and high heels and makeup of being like, I liked this a lot. And then in fact, I know someone did say that like, why waste this in the penultimate episode? But I kind of almost feel like this was one of the only storylines that actually mattered in this because it gives me a little bit of something of being like, okay, Charlotte is now, I didn't like the way they wrapped it up because they didn't. They had Charlotte just
literally erase
a picture for a second and then hit delete. I mean, there isn't much, working through it. She talked to Miranda and them for a second, but like, I also think Miranda's in her phase.
The writer's room actually spoke to a single non-binary person to ask what their opinion was on what Charlotte should do, because I guarantee you they didn't.
I don't. And I don't even think that MPK can look inside of him and relate it to himself as a gay man. Which you should be able to, because, that's something that you do carry is thinking like, if I were this other thing, how would I react? Like, would my parents be, whatever,
He also doesn't have kids, he said on the Writers Room podcast.
I just think that he is so out of touch. We've said that a million times.
Yeah. Okay.
But so that's basically Charlotte and Harry's whole thing, right?
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, we'll continue it because they do go to the play. Anthony and Giuseppe are
Miranda can't go to the play, y'all. Miranda can't go.
well, they haven't established that yet. Anthony and Giuseppe are in a
cool.
fitting room at Bergdorf's. And whatever. Moving this along, Giuseppe
There's an ugly
proposes
plum
to
sweater
Anthony.
allegedly, but I think it's cute.
It's fine. He proposes, and then Anthony's like, what? And then he says yes, and then they kiss, and then the guy is like, how are you guys doing in there? And then Giuseppe's like, we are engaged in here. And then the guy's like, congratulations, and how are we liking the plum? And I did laugh out loud at that. I'm liking the bit characters. We've liked them all season. The one-liners, they come in, they got their line memorized.
You know who unfortunately was a fail, though, as a side character is the principal to me.
Oh, yeah. And he's like good, too. He's in a lot of stuff.
He is, but I don't think they know how to use his type of comedy in this show at all. Like,
oh, not at all.
It doesn't translate, and it's just uncomfortable.
Let's move it on to Carrie is meeting with her editor, Amanda. And
no one wants to see a woman end up alone. That's miserable.
I hated just the writing and the performance of this dialogue was just cringy to watch. But she's like, so when am I gonna get the last chapter? And Carrie's like, well, you have the last chapter. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, let me look. And really like hamming it up, being like, so she ends up at a table. Carrie's like, yeah, after her husband dies, she ends up alone. And then Amanda, this like, what, 40-year-old tops woman living in New York who is a book editor, still has the mindset.
Romantic tragedy.
A romantic tragedy.
It would be okay if she ended up alone now, but in the 1800s, if she's alone, that's tragic.
But also, is it because...
I don't think so. Because
wouldn't she just be a widow
all the time? There were widows all the freaking time.
Yes, and nobody's like.
They would wear black through the town, and they would live in their empty home by themselves. The woman lighting the candle. I mean, come on.
Right. So anyway, Carrie's gonna think about it.
Though I will say it is an okay. I'll give it a 5 out of 10 on the scale of like it's an okay setup to give us a final episode.
It's a discussion, sure. So now the three girls are at Carrie's. Carrie's outfit, it looks like Carrie again. Miranda, whenever they put Cynthia Nixon in a fall color or a fall outfit, she looks stunning.
She does.
I've never seen anyone who is more obviously a fall or an autumn than
I also really
I
like when they play up on her wearing like menswear style.
Oh God, it looks so good.
Like
Annie Hall,
I think is what they
looks so awesome. Charlotte invites them to Rock's performance. She also says that Anthony and Giuseppe are engaged by screaming.
And Charlotte, though, about saying her performance is Miranda's like, oh, I can't go.
Yeah, Miranda can't
go to your like. These are like
going to like a lecture. But you know what's interesting here is that. Why would Carrie? I almost think it's an awkward conversation because if I were Carrie, I'd be thinking in the back of my head, like, well, the last time I went to one of your shitty kids' performances, my husband died of a heart attack. So, no.
You didn't even like. Yeah, wow.
Because I think the writers probably forgot that happened. That was my first thought, though, was like, it's bold to ask Carrie to attend your kids' show. But Miranda
I just thought it was more egregious that Miranda wouldn't go to her. Basically, she's watched these children since they were babies, and you wouldn't go to their high school play. And they
grew up with Brady. Like they grew up with her own kid. These are her nieces.
Though in episode 1, they did establish, which is against character. I thought Miranda Hobbs would be a Broadway person, but they say that she doesn't know the lyrics to For Good. So what the hell? I mean,
take it over that. Miranda also lets us know that she invited Mia, Brady's baby mama, to Thanksgiving, and she's going to say yes. And from what we know about Mia, I don't think Mia would have said yes. Because Mia already established she doesn't want Brady in the picture. So why would she go to this Thanksgiving?
How would you react to this, though, if your mom did this?
Oh, no, I'd be pissed. I can see my mom doing something like this, though. My mom would totally like read my mail. Like I'm not saying she did read my mail, but like if she like opened my mail, that would be like the least shocking thing that ever happened.
But if you got pregnant and then you were like, I don't want anything to do with the baby daddy, blah, 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 blah. And then your mom went behind your back to invite the baby daddy to Thanksgiving.
I could see her doing that. Like 100% see her doing that.
You wouldn't care?
Yeah, but my mom, this is what I'd be like, well, here we go. Yeah, I mean, if your mom does stuff like that all the time, but yeah, I can see how Brady would be shitty. But I do like that Miranda at one point says, well, you need to suck it up, Brady, because it's happening and the baby's coming and you're gonna be dad.
The way her character was so flippant about it when he's like, Mom, what the fuck is going on? And she's like, it's okay. I invited me.
I also don't like the cursing in front of the adults. Miranda, Charlotte comments about, now Charlotte stands up and she goes, it's so cozy in here. I was worried about you living in this big house all alone, just you, which I don't think any of her friends would say these things to her. Now Carrie talks about having to change the ending because of her bitch editor, Amanda. And then they're like, well, how do you want to end? And Carrie's like, well, it's not sad. It's not happy. It's just, what is there to say? She ends up alone. So no, we'd rather her end up with a stinky man, I guess. That's what we're.
Some guy that we introduced in the last 3 episodes that we have no connection to. Yay!
Being alone is so great. I mean, I don't think
it would just be nice if maybe Carrie Bradshaw, for once in her life, could not rely on a man. That would be really great.
Yeah, it would be. Seema and Adam. Here's this storyline that I just don't give a shit about because I think Adam was established.
Let's wrap up their story.
Let's wrap it up. I think Adam was established as a shitty character from the beginning because he says to Seema, I broke up with my girlfriend the second I smelled your perfume, which today's day and age is not really considered that.
That is shitty.
It's shitty. So I can't see this going anywhere. Also, what about in 10 years when she's in her 70s and she's decrepit and she doesn't want to fuck all the time and she maybe has cancer? Is he going to be there for her?
No.
I don't think Adam the gardener is.
I just kind of don't care about the character Seema in this way. Let's just let her be the power bitch. If you're not going to make her Samantha getting, railed by a guy and then her singing opera to transition to a person on the stage singing opera, which I mean, that from the original series is smarter than anything that was done on Sex and the City. Is Samantha being like, oh, and then it transitions. Come on. Anyway, that's it.
They say I love you to each other, and Adam invites her to Thanksgiving with his sister. So now we smash cut, right?
They're vegans, though.
Oh no, we don't. Sorry. They say I love you. Now we get to go to Carrie arriving at Thoroughly Modern Millie, and I liked this scene too. She talks to Anthony. And she's like, oh my God, I heard. Congratulations. Where's Guissepe? He's like, he's in the bathroom right now. So I only have a few minutes. I have to tell you this. And he's like, I'm really having regrets. I'm living with this guy and I'm cleaning up after him. I'm making him all his dinner. He's like, what is this? I don't want to live with a kid. I mean, I'm 60. He's 29. What the fuck? So I love that. But I feel like they're still going to end up together.
Well, we have one episode to find out. So who knows?
Yeah, I know. Well, what would the alternative be though? He ends up alone.
Dare be alone.
Victor Garber now arrives, fulfilling his contract, and
they're introducing
LTW goes into the auditorium, and Herbert's there.
Also, LTW is wearing an inappropriate outfit. She does, but
I love this outfit.
Why are you wearing a big hat to a performance? You're blocking.
She's fabulous. I thought this was
blocking the view.
I think she probably takes the hat off during the show, doesn't she?
I don't think so because
they cut to her during the show. I don't know if her hat's still on during that, but because they cut to her during the show and Herbert's still sulking, and I said this in the live, but that's where I'd be like, you need to snap out of it. You're a grown.
He just doesn't want everyone to think he's a loser.
Guess what, Herbert? Nobody's thinking that because no one cares.
They do have these bitchy mothers come up during this and say, "Oh wow, you lost by 10 points. Jeez, and don't worry about that money we donated."
Who's your comptroller? Quick.
Fuck if I know.
Can anyone name their again? No one cares. No one even knows what that is. Right? Okay, so are we at the show now?
Care about LTW's storyline, unfortunately.
The women approach, and the principal comes and hits on Guissepe. Again, it's not funny. They don't know what to do with him, but there's kind of a funny moment where the principal's hitting on Guissepe, and then Anthony kind of like pops out from behind him. He's like, "Hey!" And they chase him off.
They end this scene with a button of Anthony making a joke, and I don't know what they've decided with this man, why they've decided he's not allowed to actually tell real jokes either, because his joke is, "Who the fuck was that queen?"
Yeah, is not a button.
That's the joke? That's not a joke. I mean, like, why not make some kind of joke about, like, you know, now that you put a ring on me, you know, everyone wants, like, something.
Reference what's happening in reality.
Not just like, who the fuck is that queen? I mean, that's your button joke. I don't understand. Anyway.
Well, now the show starts. Herbert sulking through the whole thing, but
looks fabulous.
This was fabulous. The whole
love it.
And I said this to Jean beforehand. I was impressed with how they didn't make it that Rock is this like fucking like Leah Michelle. It was just like, this is a high school production in a rich Manhattan school, and this is about as good as it would be. Like, it's good, it's watchable. It's a little off, like the chorus is a little off key, but it still works. No one's amazing or blowing the roof off the house, but I like that.
I'm going to have a slightly different opinion, and it's only because I struggle to believe that Rock would be the choice for Millie in the show.
In Manhattan, yes. And then I think there'd be a lot more competition in Manhattan.
They should have made, because
a lot of Nepo
in my opinion, I thought her voice was kind of under the pitch.
Right, but they said on the podcast that she can actually, does the actress go by she?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, the
performer playing Rock.
The performer playing Rock was apparently almost in Les Mis on Broadway, but like John said, who wasn't? As Cosette.
I was almost in whatever. I mean, like,
yeah, a good one.
I was never in Les Mis almost in Les Mis.
Michael Patrick King said to them, "You're going to have to lip sync to a track," and then Rock was like, "Well, I actually sing," and then Rock, the artist, decided to do the performance like a little under their own talent level. And if that's true, then I really got to give kudos, because it was actually perfect. And
again, this show in the production wastes so much time and effort on shit that means nothing, while then cranking out some of the worst storytelling I've ever seen.
Dialogue.
Focus on your script before we focus on like the minutia of like last week, the artisans who built the Guissepe puppet.
Oh yeah, we spent a lot of time on that. Anyway,
oh my God, I'm getting fed up.
Charlotte's having a lot of feelings during this, and great. Oh, there's also an editing thing where they're all in the front of the stage, and Rock's like, "Forget about the boy, forget about the boy, forget about the boy," mouth closed. on the big final note, that she's tap dancing, mouth closed. Everyone's mouth closed. I was like, come on.
Though I had been waiting for this scene the entire thing. I feel like, though, there are so many ways that they could have had this build up too. They could have had this be a multiple episode thing, and Charlotte could have seen Rock in that transformation maybe an episode sooner. So then this episode, we got the full thing, and then they could, like, if you're gonna stretch this shit out for so long and make 40-minute episodes, etc., they're just not. I can't.
All right. Well, I actually need to pause for about 1 minute, just to deal with a foster cat situation that's happening. Apparently, my phone is blowing up. When we come back, you can fume away over there, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Miranda and Joy and Brady. All right. I'll see you in a second. We're back. We're back. And okay, so there's a little tiny scene here where LTW goes up to Herbert, and he's sulking at their window at their house. And he's like, "No, you're not proud of me." And she's like, "I've never been more proud to call you my husband." And he goes, "Not helping. Go to work." All right, well, you won't see me again then. Bye.
Go to work. You know what? I do have a job to do. A blowjob on Marion. Oh, baby.
Right. So obviously I don't think she's going to actually cheat. Is that the way LTW's storyline is wrapped up with Michelle Obama?
Can you imagine like her
not
cliffhanger
cheating.
is like her about to go down on Marion, like will she, won't she?
I thought you said finger. I thought you were gonna like a finger is like this. There's like a finger
into Marion's butt.
Almost penetration. Well, I'm picturing his.
They've put her in one final butt ass ugly outfit. Big and baggy with crap dangling off of it, and her fingers about to penetrate Marion's.
And butthole, he likes it. Charlotte and Harry are in their twin ass bed, and she's like, Harry, do I feel something hard? Because you couldn't tell the difference between a hard dick poking at you and a flat, large, hard iPad pressing against your bed.
I couldn't.
They feel the same. And he's like, yeah, it's my iPad. Waka waka.
I was watching porn so I could get hard.
He said I was showing my dick porn. So he fell asleep like that. Or maybe
now,
in the morning.
Let's not forget that when Charlotte and maybe they were hearkening, people are constantly like, they were calling back to
right.
Which I think some of those are a stretch. I think
a lot of you are smarter than the writers. So like I get what you're saying, but you're giving the writers too much credit with that.
Yes. And I want to say maybe this is a call back to Charlotte walking in on Trey, looking at the jugs porn.
Oh God. Maybe.
Anyway, a stretch, baby.
This is where, though, me and Joan aren't really sure how this ended, but like maybe they'll have Thanksgiving at the house because Harry deserves it because he went through cancer.
Harry explains that when he was dying, when he thought he was dying from cancer, which guys, he isn't because MPK doesn't want us to be too sad for too long. Right. That his dream was that he'd never have another Thanksgiving in his home with his family, except again, his entire vision of Thanksgiving. It's not like his vision is, I carve the turkey and we sit down and we talk about
me sitting there while you all work around me.
It's a time for me to be with my family. I want to pass out after I eat too much food and watch football.
Yeah, he doesn't want to have to wear pants. But you can do that with Steve. You and Steve can both take off your pants and watch football.
Steve can't hear, so he doesn't watch much football anymore because his ears don't work.
He can watch football because you don't need to listen, right?
He can't. He can't see either. He's getting old.
Well,
he's gonna be a grandpa.
Charlotte, wearing a fabulous pajama set, by the way, is in her closet, and she's looking at the picture that she took of Rock, and she decides, I'm not going to keep it out of respect for Rock. This is all told to me by Michael Patrick King and the writers.
This makes sense, though, because
sure, but that's how they're going to wrap
Rock
it up.
Offended by this photo?
They never asked Rock.
That's what I
would actually like to know if there's any non-binary people out there. I would actually genuinely like to know what your thoughts are on this. Like, would you be okay with your mom holding onto a picture of you dressed? Also, has Rock even come out and said that they want to be fully dressed as a man all the time? Because Cole Escola is non-binary and they dress in everything. Well, so I would just like to know if Rock even gives a shit.
Rock is not. It's not like Charlotte took a photo of the one time Rock was forced to wear a dress for some occasion. Rock's in a musical. I mean, they're playing a character.
And Rock didn't even make a comment about, I hate wearing this dress. Rock was feeling themselves in it.
That's why I was like, why are we deleting a photo that's supposed, like, I understand they were trying symbolism here, and I think they failed, unfortunately.
I get it, but yeah, that is a good point, too. You would keep a picture of your child in the lead. That's a huge major core memory of being the lead in your High School Musical. Like, you'd have pictures of that all over the house.
I was liking where they were going with this, like, contending with the feelings, and then they fucked it up at the end. So shocking.
Of course. So Miranda and Joy are now eating chicken tikka masala.
The dogs are also sitting next to Joy's chair, perfectly smushed together, and they don't. I mean, they follow the cam. They're looking at the camera, panning across the room.
The bad actors, bad dog actors.
But why even have the dogs sitting there? Oh, because Brady scares the dogs.
Right. So Brady comes in and says, Mia texted. He's like, what the fuck, Mom? Mia
Mama
texted
Mia.
Me. Mia.
Mama
Mia. That's right. Someone just say Mama Mia. Then it's never acknowledged. They don't even like lean in on the joke. Well, anyway, she's coming to the dinner now. And then Miranda and him go back and forth. And then Joy's uncomfortable. And MPK did say they like this storyline of having, well, yeah, this is an important thing. If you're dating somebody in your like 50s and 60s, and now they're going to be a grandparent, again, this is the penultimate episode. So I assume they're just going to break up because Joy cares about her dogs. They don't want to live together.
I don't think they're going to break up.
Well, Joy takes the dogs into the other room. Now, Carrie and Seema are out for cocktails. This is where things really start finally fucking moving. Carrie and Seema are out for cocktails, and Seema's not going to Thanksgiving anymore. Now, I would almost wonder if the writers should have mentioned the juxtaposition here of when Seema got mad at Carrie when they were going to have a house in the Hamptons together, and Carrie wanted to bring Aiden, and Seema's like, no, I just want to be too, like, it sucks. It's shitty being the single friend, and then people cancel on me.
I don't think that is.
No, but Seema is doing that now, which I also don't think Seema would do if I were Seema. If you were going to somebody Thanksgiving and then your boyfriend
I think this whole situation. I actually think this whole situation is a moot point because Carrie is going to a Thanksgiving with friends she has had for 40 fucking years. It's not like Carrie's being forced to go to some stranger's Thanksgiving, and if she's left without Seema, she doesn't know anyone. Carrie even acknowledges that.
I don't think that Seema, I would without even hesitation be like, oh no, I'm so sorry, that's such a nice offer, but I already have I already confirmed plans for Thanksgiving. He's not going to get mad at you for that. I'll meet her some other time. Not on Thanksgiving.
I think that Seema and Adam are going to end up at the Thanksgiving anyway. I just think it's, again, this is almost the storyline that I'm now at the point where I'm like, I could give a fuck.
Nobody even thought about it in the live until we were 47 minutes in, and somebody's like, oh, what about Seema?
The only thing that annoyed
about
me is
the veganness. Yeah, I think you're right. They're going to end up at Miranda. They're all going to have other plans. That's what's going to happen, John. They're all going to have other plans and decide that really we get to choose our own family, and they all end up together on Thanksgiving.
And Bobby Lee shows up, and Che shows up, and Naya shows up, and Samantha shows up, and
then Lisette's roommate comes in with his guns and blows everyone's brains out. And Wyatt also participates in that. Okay. Seema makes a comment.
Seema does this stupid line. This is all I remember of Seema from the whole episode, is her being like, I'm going to give up delicious drumstick for tofurkey.
She has
delicious drumstick. I have never in my life heard a human describe a turkey leg, or you can call it a drumstick, but the line of I'm giving up delicious drums, not even a delicious drumstick, or
it sounds like ESL.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm giving up delicious drumstick for tofurkey. What the hell?
That's definitely what's going to happen, John, is they're all going to leave the Thanksgivings that they thought would be better and end up at Miranda's.
LTW and her whole family is going to roll up there too, and they're going to be and Miranda's going to be like,
she's going to run out of giving Marion head at the last minute and run to Miranda's house, and George Washington will be there waiting.
She pulls Marion's dick out of her mouth just as he's
and I can't. Michelle Obama shows up. She's the honored guest because Joy
Michelle
knows her.
Obama bursts
she knows Joy
on Marion and LTW.
Mia knows Michelle Obama somehow.
Oh, that would make
sense. Can my godmother come? Yeah, I grew up with the Obamas. Sure. I mean, why not at this point?
Can my parents come? And it's Ben Stiller and Christine.
Oh my God. Carrie. So they're over, and Seema mentions, oh, by the way, guys, I was right. People were bitching at me a few weeks ago about like, no, Carrie owns the whole apartment. That's the way it would go. But no, weirdly, she doesn't own that bottom apartment. So fine.
Duncan's not coming back. Should Carrie buy it or should she not? I mean, that's.
And then Carrie's like, well, why would I want that? And Seema says, well, for resale value, to own everything. I don't think Seema was overstepping here. I think Seema was genuinely saying for resale value.
Why wouldn't?
Because that's just literally something that you talk about as a realtor, right? You're always talking about that.
Why wouldn't you buy that?
Yeah,
you're telling me you're going to own the entire.
Money.
She owns the entirety of the building except this single one-bedroom apartment on the basement. Like,
it's crazy. So, And she can make money off of that in her retirement age because your money's going to run out at some point.
And that's what's made this show bad.
Sure.
Well, I wish Carrie was poor again. Carrie selling her Manolos, whatever.
Carrie says, "Why am I upset?" And Seema's like, "I don't fucking know. Why are you upset?" The question of the fucking season, why is Carrie upset? And she's like, "Well, I just felt that maybe I was harboring some feelings that Duncan would come back, or maybe I thought, and then I'm going to Lisette's apartment and just all these apartment feelings are coming back." So again, Michael Patrick King is setting us up to give us the cream pie. I've never talked about that either. That's the thing that they say in the Writers' Room podcast, is that I think what they mean to say is pie in the face, but now they constantly just say cream pie, which is not like that's not the image I get when I think of a cream pie, because I watch a lot of porn. Unfortunately, I know what a cream pie is.
The phrase cream pie has been completely, sullied by
yeah. I mean, hey, I think it's hot.
So you're telling me their cream pie in this episode is like, we're going to get Carrie to go to this party. She shows up and the apartment is literally, it's a cream pie to the audience. The color was even Carrie's apartment ever.
Well, it's a cream pie to the audience. That's why they keep giving us all these they're breadcrumbing us throughout the episode, being like, Carrie's going to move back, guys. We know the audience wants this, but no, now we're going to have her walk into this apartment, a set that they built from scratch, including like just her walking up those stairs. They had to rebuild it. And God, also, I feel like here's another waste of money, John. They built from scratch on a set a staircase on a brownstone in the Upper West Side. Hey, go to any brownstone in Manhattan and just offer them some money and they'll let you film in the hallway instead of recreating one from scratch.
Here's an idea. Skip the stair part. Just have her walk at the door of the apartment. I mean, there's no lot. I'm not even an HBO executive, and I can tell y'all wasted way too much money on the wrong things on your show. Yeah. Maybe if you could cut your budget in half, you would get a fourth season. But I'm sure you're like, we need more money, actually.
Do you feel like Lisette, if I were Lisette, I would be mortified that Carrie showed up to this party? I'd be like, please, you're not going to like this.
Her, because the way that they make it look like, it looks as though this is...
I would never let her come into the apartment.
It doesn't make any sense. They put up these fake walls. She has a neighbor who colored in Carrie's old... thing. Who spent hours doing that when they could have made the script better.
Oh, by the way, there was steam coming out of my ears with me sitting there. I paused it and I just had to sit there and try to, and it did work the way they have it logistically figured out. But I was I had to sit there and figure out in my head, so what is this apartment?
I had to too. It doesn't really, because it means that guy doesn't have a bedroom and Lisette doesn't have any type of kitchen at all.
Right, but then she says that, she goes, I don't have the kitchen because who cares? I'm like, so you have an eating disorder?
Well, no, I understand there is this idea that in New York, you don't ever have to eat at home. You eat out all the time or whatever. But
sure, yeah.
But even if you get takeout, you need somewhere to rinse off your fork.
Oh, yeah, true.
You're not going to do that in your bath. No,
it's like a hotel. You're living in a hotel, essentially.
You don't rinse a dish in the bathroom sink.
If I were Carrie, I'd be offended, actually. I know that I sold you this apartment and whatever, it's yours now. But if I were Lisette, I'd be embarrassed to tell Carrie, hey, I took your lifelong apartment and this is what I did to it. And she's not acting like she's sorry at all. She's like, yes, I just didn't like living alone. I hated it. God, how does anyone do it? Anyway, we put up a wall and now Zeke lives there and he's got guns. How do you live alone?
They want to act they just put these walls up, they're in the middle of putting them up, which I'm incensed about the spackling all over them. Check out our live if you want to listen to me lose my mind.
Yeah, we get more into the incredulousness on the live.
But we're to believe that these walls are just gone up. But if you look at the wall in Lisette's room, she has had time, instead of painting the wall over the drywall, she's had time to perfectly curate a gallery wall in her room. So you could have put a coat of paint over the freaking bare drywall with the patching on it instead of hanging up a bunch of artwork. Yeah, don't play this game with me. Don't play this game.
Also, it's kind of established by Lisette's line, oh, this wall separates me and Zeke's apartment. So it's not even roommate situation. It's these are 2 apartments now.
That's what I was gonna say. What argument is
interact?
there that I can't live alone? You are alone, Blanche.
You're alone.
You
are. Yeah, like why would you?
You can open the door into his room, into his
yeah,
place.
That's like worse. This is crazy. This is
guys. Also, yes, there was a throwaway line about being like, oh yeah, but I feel safe because Zeke has guns laying around.
Well, after she makes a shitty comment to Carrie about how do you do it alone, just you? How do you find worth in life? So Carrie goes home, and also I think Lisette. I think this is a Lisette. This is a you problem. I think it would have been you would have saved more money by just going to therapy and figuring out why you can't be alone with your own thoughts for more than 5 minutes instead of paying money to fully demolish Carrie's apartment.
Fuck up an apartment.
Yes.
Like
old brownstone.
2 non-functional apartments out of 1 functional.
I also don't even know would New York City like allow her to do that unless they do it legally, which they probably did.
I think if you have a window, it's okay. That's the only
Is that really the only rule?
I don't know, but
I
think bedrooms have to have a window to count in city.
Well, anyway, Carrie returns home and takes off her shoes, which Michael Patrick King wanted us all to catch on to. Is she still hasn't gotten over Duncan because she's still in the habit of taking her shoes off.
Which she would anyway. I'm going to tell
unless
you,
she sleeps in her shoes.
A woman like Carrie Bradshaw, who has such attention to detail about a bunch of shit in her life, she's not walking over those beautiful 1800s hardwood floors. If she was so upset about that rainbow glass, no way is she putting heel marks in that floor all day long. Runners. It's not happening.
Well, she sits down and everyone has spooked her throughout the episode so much with all their horrible comments about how it's better to kill yourself than be single.
Yeah.
And she writes an epilogue. She decides I have to end it with the woman meeting someone. And she says
this incredible work. This incredible work.
This whole thing is just look at all these big words I know. So here we go.
This is the worst book in history. Go ahead.
Yeah, boring. The woman opens the door to her dark home and struck a match to light the candle to the vestibule. The glow from the taper illuminated an envelope waiting for her there on the cold marble table below. She broke the blood-red wax seal and removed the delicate piece of parchment inside an invitation from Virginia Perry. If you had attending a party to celebrate the return of her cousin Joshua Perry from London to New York City, the woman folded the paper, intrigued. This was the handsome widower Virginia had spoken so highly of.
So, are they trying to say that?
I think it's another bait and switch. Because now I think they're going so heavy-handed on, she's going to make her not single, but I think she will end up single.
I agree, and I hope they do. I don't even. At this point, I am excited to see what's going to happen next week, but I'm also like...
I have to go, and so does John. We both have a heart out. So really quickly, join us every Friday, live stream. We're going to do it after the season's over. You guys also let us know now, anywhere you want. You can leave us a voicemail. Leave us a voicemail telling us on what do you think went wrong this season. Let us know how you think the season should have ended, and we're going to play those 2 weeks from now on that live. Let us know if you want us to do season 4 Sex and the City next, or if you want us to go back and do and just like that season 1 next. Check out our Patreon. Oh. We're doing Girls this Monday. There's a lot of good stuff. It's all in the show notes. And it's pretty much it. We love you guys so much.
Hit subscribe, hit like. We love you. Leave a comment.
Bye.
Bye.